on a 8-win, 1 draw and 2 losses score. We have been talking about it over the weekend. The 9-1-2 score is probably what's guaranteed to have a spot in the top 64, so they really have to win out here. A draw shouldn't be enough. And let's see these openers.
You know, something funny, you said maybe Christos has done his homework, but I reckon, like us, he was probably around when the first incarnation of Ritual Beasts was being played. So maybe he just knows all the cards. Could be a bit of a trap, though, because there are plenty of new ones that you have to keep your eyes on. What do you think of this choice from Fong here? I can see that dimensional shifter,
right?
And he's choosing not to start with it. And could get punished. I mean, here there's an impermanence, so I guess either way it doesn't really matter. But if he just started with it, it would have protected him from things like effect failure.
And we are actually passing. That's it. Impermanence on Canhawk was enough. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom. Veiler has been super popular in the last future match. We saw Dinka activating multiple copies of it. So yeah, maybe a little bit of an heads-up play for the future. And yeah, Christos is happy with this, although obviously the shifter is very annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I say it doesn't matter, but I'm peeking at another card in Christos' hand, that Dominus Impulse.
Yes.
So rarely does a trap going to the graveyard make much of a difference to the game, but in this case it very well might, getting to destroy the card as well as negate a card.
Oh, wow.
Pass back.
Yeah. A pass back is brutal. As we've mentioned, playing through shifter is not easy, but yeah, you don't want to give this Canhawk another chance to activate his effect. And are we gonna see a response? Not quite.
Yeah, this feels devastating for Christos. Just leaving that Canhawk on the field. You've already spent a card to negate it for a turn. Now you're going to have to spend another one. And Fong will get another normal summon as well. Yeah. Ritual Beast really needs its normal summon. Yeah, sorry.
No, exactly. And I also feel like that Christos maybe was, I mean, given that Fong didn't start things off with the shifter, I think the impermanence would have helped him out. But yeah, it just stopped the Tamer Lara, which was banished with the Canhawk from special summoning a monster from the deck.
Yeah, luckily for Fong, the additional effect did not really pay off, as he was used to negate the Lara. But yeah, we have an incredible opener. It's always great to see these cards, as you have mentioned, Tom, that have not been relevant for something along the line of 9 years, because Ritual Beast was mostly relevant in 2015, I think, in Necros format. And yeah, they're still really good today.
Yeah, here comes the Mighty Penguin. Not sure what type the ultimate Ritual Beast that was banished is. I guess it's probably Psychic, considering that Lara got some...
it is Psychic.
Oh yeah, we're no longer under the shifter, right? So things are going to happily go to the graveyard.
And yeah, we have seen this plenty of time with Julio. We've had a pretty sick run at the European Championship and also at the World Championship later on, showcasing this deck. And yeah, it's good that more duelists are picking it up. It's definitely a force to be reckoned.
Yeah, nice to see the interaction from some of the newer Ritual Beast cards, because previously you would need a Ritual Beast and a Ritual Beast Tamer on the field to do your sort of fusion plays. But in this case we had one in the graveyard, and one of the newer Ritual Beasts can special summon itself by banishing a Ritual Beast from your field and grave. So that was how the Lara got banished. And now you get up to a Ritual Beast and a Spiritual Beast Tamer and start making some Canhawks.
Yeah, this is the usual Canhawk line, where you're able to resolve as much as possible.
Yeah, it starts to get a little confusing, I'd say, because most decks, they have, all of the cards, you can only use their effects once per turn, whereas Ritual Beast kind of flips it on its head and say, you can use the effect as many times as you like, but you can only special summon this card once per turn.
Yeah, definitely it can be tricky to keep track of that.
But I also feel like, as you mentioned, I think, although times have changed, I always feel like that, as in the past, I will not like to face the deck, even nowadays, to be fair. Because it's very scary, it's consistent, and on the other hand, you're not even so sure where to activate your cards, right? I remember with Necros, when you were facing the Ritual Beast deck, you were like, man, I'm in trouble.
So here comes that Canhawk again, as we mentioned. Can be used any number of times. well, as long as you get a fresh copy each time, so that could be involved. Well, I guess Phong started with it on the field this time, so he got it once, and then he could get it again because it's been special summoned. If he can normal summon another copy or something like that, then he would get to keep playing this Canahawk. He's already used this normal summon this turn, so that Tamer Elder going to be stuck in the hand unless he gets access to an extra normal summon, which the Ritual Beasts definitely have plenty of.
Yeah, Kimun Falcos is summoned. Also, yeah, it's not every day that you get to set up, but this time we could also see him trying to just go for a game if he can't push enough damage. Because usually the line is to activate, the boosting effect multiple times with the Apelio. So maybe that could be a strategy. Here it comes down.
Yep, going to get to activate it at least once. I remember this one, back in the day probably wasn't the best of the Ritual Beasts because you needed cards already in your graveyard, but now I think it seems a lot easier to get going and get your cards into the graveyard, so it serves its purpose perfectly well.
Yeah, but this, as we were saying, allows you to easily OTK in a way, because although you can only special summon it once, if you have additional normal summons, you get it, and then it boosts every Ritual Beast by 1,000 if you activate it twice, so that can add up really quickly. So
if we're having a look at Christos's deck list, is there any extra interruptions we could expect to see coming down here? Obviously, already having used the Impulse, maybe that set card might be something. There it is. Yeah. Hovering over that super polymerization there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't feel like there's an impermanence there from Christos. Because, like, if there is, maybe he's been holding on to it, but I don't really think that's the case, honestly.
Pretty sure he would have used it on the Canhawk right away at the start. So.
And the Splitting Ash Blossom, but the only card I can see is the Super Poly, if, there's a scenario in which he has it. But apart from that, honestly, I can't see anything else.
Super Poly, one of those cards, is extremely powerful, but if you're playing against a deck you're not expecting, it might be that you don't have the cards in your extra deck needed to do so. So you've got that Mud Dragon in the extra deck. Is there anything else? Just the Mud Dragon. Oh, and a Garura.
Yeah.
But I don't know all the types and attributes of all the Ritual Beast monsters.
Yeah.
I feel like they all have kind of different
Most
types.
of them, I think they're wind.
Are they all wind, and then maybe all of the...
yeah, they are all wind.
Okay.
Outside of just Lara, I think.
Yeah.
And then maybe it is the case that all of the Ritual Beasts themselves are they not all beasts? No, they all have different types, it seems.
Yeah.
But the Tamers are all psychics, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to have to hold it for just the right time.
Yeah, there comes another Apelio, as we were mentioning.
It's like an awful lot of things have happened, but the field of Phong not growing too much bigger, unlike in other decks where they seem to just sprout monsters out of left, right, and center.
Here comes good old friend, maybe not so much, in the Nemesis flag, also fresh off Quarter Century Bonanza, if you want to upgrade the rarity. And we all know where that can lead to. One of the most important threats of the deck going first is that Protoss, and yeah, it's really a scary card, especially we were mentioning it yesterday. Once you have the knowledge of what your opponent is playing, it gets even better, because you can have different lines in this deck where you can actually call different attributes with it. So
in this case, Phong going for the Corridor instead. It's a nice option people can use to make the very powerful Thunder Dragon Colossus, because it's a Thunder monster that special summons itself from the hand, so you've activated an effect of a Thunder monster in your hand, which is the condition that allows you to get out that Colossus. I don't know how much damage this is. I don't think the...
yeah, it is plenty.
Coloss.
Oh, it's plenty, okay.
Yes. Are we gonna see another shifter?
I'm looking at his cards one at a time. Are you a shifter?
Oh, I think it's the last
There
card.
it is.
Wow.
Wow.
We do, and I think there is also a Mulcharmi. I don't. Yeah,
Charmy, I don't know. Yeah, can't
could
tell.
be Fuvolas. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, this end looks sick, but we are not using it. Okay, no, maybe because yeah, we are still in the draw phase, most likely from Christos.
I feel like you just play the shifter now.
We
Yeah,
surely
no
do.
need to let that hit the grave.
Yeah. And there it comes, and you can see Christos, yeah, accepting its fate.
You were thinking he was going to react. He just didn't react at all, did he? It's like, yeah, okay. Guess I just won't
I
play
mean,
my
he's
dive
used
style.
to it, 100%. He's a veteran, you know. But yeah, that's brutal. Being on the bubble and being shifted twice, rough. Let's see if he can find a way to deal with this. I guess in the side decks he's using a lot of traps and also trust. So this could be the strategy if he has anything, but that's not a good sign. Yeah, that's a pass.
Wow.
Wow. So hopefully the face down is one of those side deck cards. For example, Dimensional Barrier is a pretty common card that is sided obviously mainly for Tempai, but it's pretty good against the Ritual Beast deck as well.
Yeah, I feel like Ritual Beast and other similar kinds of decks that rely on fusion summoning or XYZ summoning, for example, is the reason why you would pick the Dimensional Barrier over the Threatening Roar. Because Threatening Roar is a very powerful card against Tempai specifically. Arguably, in my opinion, I think it's a lot stronger against Tempai than Dimensional Barrier. But Dimensional Barrier just has that extra layer of coverage. You know, you can play it against, if you come up against a Ritual Beast deck, or if someone's playing Branded, or, you know, any kinds of different strategies that the barrier is strong against.
But I think we might see a pass back from how things look. He's debating it. He's holding a Mulcharmi and an Impermanence. I can't quite tell the last card at the very end, but
It looks like a Lara, but the original Lara, not the new Lara.
yeah.
So I
But
think
the last one.
Last one
Eden,
can
that's
tell.
when it-
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pass
Pass.
back. I mean, I guess the Mulcharmi also gives you, you know, a reason to do so, but this is not turn one. So, you know, you can take this Fuwalos challenge and just try to go for game, and that's totally reasonable to me. So let's see what Christos decides to do.
yeah, it seems very unlikely to keep you in the game, especially against this Rescue Ace deck, which has some very high attack main deck monsters. Christos doesn't really need to do an awful lot to put 8,000 damage on the field, compared to some other decks maybe.
Seems like we are considering this Impermanence. At least now he finally gets to understand that it was a Rescue Ace, because still there was some doubt there. And yeah, we do use the Impermanence.
Is that an Elder in hand, the last card?
Yeah, I think it's Elder.
Yeah.
Oof,
The
and a
bonfire.
bonfire is great. Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't be too difficult. Obviously, if this was a regular Snake Eye deck, this was even better, but this is it. Let's see. Poplar goes uninterrupted. We know that there is nothing else in the end from his opponent that can interact at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got that one draw off Fuvalos, assuming that Christos searches the original and activates it, giving you that one opportunity to hit maybe another interruption for the fire engine that's about to hit the field.
Yeah, it's a matter of you know, understanding your position right now. If you're Christos, as we've mentioned, it's either you know that your opponent passed back and then you don't really want to give him draws at all and you take the risk, or you try to figure out if there is a line that with the least possible amount of draws gets you there.
Yeah, I feel like for me, you're definitely going to try and end the game on this turn. I think you can give them like one
Totally
or two
agree.
draws maybe.
And yeah, we're not gonna see a Snake Eye card, we're gonna see the Hydrant.
Got to put it in attack mode though, you know, get that damage in.
I agree with you. Of course, that's 0. Let's see.
Oh, he drew a Dominance
Ooh.
Purge off the top of his deck. Which could be very relevant here.
Yeah, we have mentioned that Dominus Purge is also an amazing card, but obviously has not had the chance to shine as much as Impulse, just because it's tougher to fit in these decks. But Ritual Beast can.
Yeah, thanks to the impermanence. It's going to destroy
That's
the
big.
Hydrant as
This
well.
is a big one, honestly, this purge. Huh?
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Christos
wow.
just attacks. I'm pretty sure he had a Rescue Ace spell in his hand as the last card.
I think, yeah, he has. I mean, this is the one he drew, for sure.
Yeah. But not the emergency, so, you know. That's it. So, important draw, not quite it, in an Ash Blossom.
Yeah, what to do for Fong? He couldn't do anything, and then his top cards have been Dominance Purge and Ash Blossom, so if he couldn't do anything before, I don't know what he's going to be able to do now. Can the Elder actually get you to any... Can you actually normal summon the Lara off Elder? You can. Okay. But yeah, I think he's just having a look through his extra deck, rereading all of the materials on his cards to say, can he actually use anything?
Yeah, just gonna set one and pass. Assuming it could be the Elder, because the Lara can bring it back. Well, let's see. Definitely a rough spot, and as you can see here, are we gonna Ash this?
I think it's the Lara, because, you know, it's hard to overestimate how powerful a 2000 defense monster is.
That's right. Especially when facing a Witch, right? But yeah, that's true. The Ash, because of the Purge, right? Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, yeah. We've seen why the Purge is not played by fire decks, and yeah, Ash Blossom just happens to be a fire monster. So that was actually the worst draw, probably. Then we could have set that instead. But yeah, this gives Christos, you know, a sigh of relief. He knows that his opponent doesn't really have much to respond, and so he's looking really well to tie things up, surviving the second shifter.
Yeah, he was right to be, you know, completely calm when the shifter was like, I have my dominance impulse, it's going to keep me safe for a turn, and then I'll have my opportunity.
And here
yeah,
it is.
Here comes the star of his deck. Turbulence, what a card.
Yeah, and the Pong has seen enough.
By
I see.
a single card each time.
Changing his strategy of picking up the cards one at a time. It might.
Is that it?
No,
In the
no,
middle?
no, it's not. It's similar. Because, like,
Yeah, it's not quite it. And so we are gonna start things off as in game one with the Kanok. Back then the impermanence was enough, but okay, that's nice. That's a unique, you know, interruption from the Rescue Ace deck. Ooh, but we actually have an impermanence as well to chain. That's a great start for Christos.
Now, what do you think he's going to summon? You can summon any Rescue Ace from your deck with that impulse. Is he going to summon the Fire Attacker? No, just the Engine.
Yeah.
This was such a powerful card when it came out that people were kind of almost putting it just by itself. You could run 3 of it and maybe something like a Fire Attacker to special summon from the deck. Kind of fell off a little bit, but still a very powerful interruption.
He went for Fire Engine.
It's very neat for decks that they can have like engine pieces that also act on your opponent's first turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking of Abnis.
Always.
So at least differently from game one, we do have an emergency teleport, which is nice. I'm not quite sure on the last spell whether there was the thrust.
I think it's a thrust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which actually could be really good if that is the case. But
Oh, and the Lara.
yeah, the end is pretty solid.
The double Lara.
Oh, okay. Also draw into the other one.
Yeah, this hand looks unstoppable by sort of conventional hand traps, and we're going to need something like a Perulia or a Fubulos, but clearly
Not the case
not the
anymore.
case, yeah.
Yeah. This is very good because you can bring back the Lara from the graveyard. Yeah.
We were expecting some other interruptions by Christos, but for now it doesn't seem to be the case. Does he have the other impulse? not the rescue ace one.
It's very hard to interrupt at this point because the Lara's going to get a search.
Yeah.
And then we have the... Is that Nochi Draco on the field?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I'm thinking, summon it.
It's Ash.
Ash as well. Wow.
Yeah, but we already have 2 cards in hand only. And yeah, look at this teleport. That's big. Wow.
All engine and no
Yeah,
brakes.
all gas.
But what is that thrust going to get?
It's a thrust, right?
It looks like a thrust
Yeah,
to me.
I thought so as well. Is he playing the 1 talent?
Actually, it's not.
Okay. That could have been really strong.
I mean, the only card I can see is he could like potentially pick is the Dimensional Fissure.
It's
no.
continuous.
Because now it's continuous,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think Pot of Prosperity is...
Does he play it?
Yeah,
Does
I
just-
see the Prosperity. So
Yeah.
that seems like a good one to potentially pick up, a Dimensional Fissure or something similar.
Weird that he's not playing the 1 talent though.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep it going first, you would assume so, but...
It's obviously nice to start summoning monsters on your opponent's turn, but it does make Protoss that much easier for Fong to resolve. He doesn't actually have to get a fire monster of his own on the field now. He can destroy Christos's.
Yeah, at least thanks to the fire engine, he gets to access the lifter and then add card for next turn. But Fom is not stopping anytime soon. And here comes the first Ultiganok.
Still hasn't used his sort of regular normal summon, if you like, because the first one was from the Lara,
no, I
was
think
it?
he started
the
with
first one was
Canahawk. Yeah.
yeah. Just got to remember what you have and haven't summoned.
Yeah.
What did the Lara actually special summon? Oh, it got ashed.
Yeah.
So this is his first
Yep.
special summon of any of the normal
Exactly.
ritual beasts.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I do agree with you on the prosperity. There is an alternative, I guess, of just getting the steeds if you don't search it regularly, or any permanence face down with the trust. But yeah, we'll see down the line what he wants to do with it.
I know it has to be done sometimes, but I feel very sad if I ever have to set an impermanence of a thrust.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the Ritual Beast deck often has a lot of cards in its extra deck it doesn't mind banishing. Unfortunately, they can't be food for Canahawk because they get
Yeah.
banished face down.
This is similar to what we have seen in game 1. He's pretty much free to assume that there is no more interruption from Christos, and I guess, yeah, the goal should be the Protoss. I think so. Like,
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, regardless of what you want to do with the thrust, like if you manage to get a Protoss and resolve it for fires, I don't
yeah,
really see how
what can
Christos
they
can
do?
play.
Yeah.
Can summon a Black Witch and attack.
Fierce.
Comes the Wen.
Yeah, here comes yet another special summon to keep track of. And the mighty penguin can use its effect. Probably getting rid once. Yeah.
He looks like a slightly more tropical penguin than you normally see. He's hanging out in the forest rather than in the Arctic.
Hear about the tropical with this weather?
Are we going to see the ulti Gaia Palios, I think? Oh no.
Ooh,
Ulti
Now we go,
Retiari.
yeah, Retiari again. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Explaining, yeah, the steps, just keeping a step right there, but all good. And here comes again on Apelio. Boost not quite relevant, and yes, we do go for the Protoss line eventually, as expected. No final surprise from Christos, and yeah, this is big.
Does he have enough banished monsters at this point? Oh, yeah, just one for the flag.
I also like this Nemesis interaction, you know, which are kind of cool. Someone wants to take the other one.
And there it is. The star of the show was being shy for the entire match, but when it matters the most, it's finally brought to the end from FOM. Can we find a solution for it once it will come down? That's the big question for Christos.
Honestly, we're seeing like the power that it has to push through interruptions. I mean, in the first 2 games, maybe not so strong hands, and 1 interruption was enough. But in this, like, if you look at Christos' graveyard, right, he's had some of the most powerful cards in his deck that he must have really wanted to see, but it just seems to have been breezed through.
That's a pretty neat interaction here, where we're gonna spy our own card in the graveyard. There it comes.
Yep.
Here goes the fire.
Yep. Gets to resolve, and this is devastating. Again, keeping all of this time the trust, and it's gonna be the Steeds, it seems. Yep. Makes sense to me. Incredible setup. Obviously, it can be a little weak to some popular side deck cards, but I don't think that is the case for Christos. He doesn't really have anything like, yeah.
I'm wondering, is Super Polymerization going to achieve anything? The Protoss being dark and the SP being dark?
I guess that could be decent.
But the follow-up is still there, right? Because you can just banish 2 monsters from your graveyard to summon a no-chi Draco.
And now the pressure is on Christos. Can he pull off a miracle here? Otherwise, he will be knocked out when it hurts the most, unfortunately. Just 1 game away from advancing to the top 64. Let's see it. I see a lot of spells in his hand, and it's a reinforcement of the army.
Yeah, even though you cannot special summon under Protoss, I think you can still normal summon, so it's going to get to try something.
There comes the impulse added to the end. Seems like it's mostly engine in the end. Is it a wanted? I'm not sure. No, it's a bonfire. Okay.
Adding more and more fire monsters to your hand.
Not ideal.
Unless he's got a Centurion Trudea hiding in his deck.
Yes, yeah, that's a bit rough. Anima, but it doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Those the SP, you know.
And you have to play through the Steeds as well.
Yeah. And yeah, probably gonna try that out. 1 more spell in the end. Not quite sure what that is, but
yeah, I think it's either the alert or the rescue. I mean, one of them.
We're gonna see the SP here. Banishing this Poplar.
Yeah, no need to mess around, just cut your opponent off as much as you can. That's their 1 normal summon, so unless Christos has pretty much exactly a witch, there won't be any more monsters on his side of the field this turn.
Seems rough. He's having a look at his graveyard. Could just set 1. Let's see.
Devastating thing is there's going to be another fire monster for next turn on the field.
Unfortunate, and yeah, it just set 2 face down passes. And you can even just get rid of them, right? Because Steeds.
Yeah, how many does the ulti Retiari summon? Does it summon 2?
I think this is pretty much.
Oh, he's just destroying 1 card.
But yeah. As you can see here, let's see what he gets. Is it the original? Because I was thinking as well he was gonna. Let's see. It is the original. Okay. Glimmer of hope. Not sure how concrete, but yeah. We'll keep being in there. So the SP is back. One more draw. This could be the last turn for the Swiss portion of the tournament. We're starting things off, not wasting any time with this Protoss.
Yeah, it's just devastating, isn't it? Core fire again. There's almost no way to interrupt it because of the SP on the field already.
How much is this on the field? 25 plus 26, 51.
Plenty of damage.
51, 67. Yeah, almost there, I would say.
And yeah, this is, as you were mentioning, Tom, earlier, the great addition of not even needing to control them anymore, to just special summon some Ritual Beast fusions. And
this looks like so much damage. To add back another Ritual Beast and then normal summon it. And that very generous looking banishment pile. Moving into the ulti guy, Paleo, just to lock up all possibilities.
Absolutely, don't want to risk anything.